In this video, I'll show you how I print photos directly from my phone. One of my personal hobbies is to shoot Polaroid film. I've accumulated quite a bit of film over the last 2 years, and I decided to print some photos from a recent trip. Unfortunately, a lot of these film packs are expired. You can still use expired film, you just might not get the best results when it comes to the colors. For the first few prints, I'm starting out with a color pack of I-type film. With this type of film, you can actually print Polaroids through the Polaroid Lab. I love the flexibility this adds to my Polaroid photography because it means I can get the shot perfectly off of my iPhone or any other camera and then print it. When shooting with an actual Polaroid camera, you only get one shot, and sometimes this can lead to wasting a lot of film, and Polaroid film is not cheap. I suggest creating a new album on your phone and adding photos that you want to print. The reason for this is it makes it so much easier to find the photos you want to print. Then you'll need to download and open the Polaroid app. Choose Polaroid Lab and tap the plus to add a photo. At the top where it says camera roll, this is where you want to select the new album you just created. Scroll through and choose your photo. Be sure to click on the arrow icon in the left-hand corner so that it scales the photo to fit within the square, unless you like the idea of having white bars on the side of your photo. When you click next, you'll notice that you'll get this dialog that says, check your phone settings. You want to make sure that you have night shift and true tone turned off. The Polaroid Lab uses your phone screen to print the photos, so if you're manipulating your screen in any way by adjusting the colors or the brightness, then you won't get a good result with your photo. Use these two circles to help align your phone on top of the Polaroid Lab. The machine will ding and light up when aligned correctly. Then press the red button to print the photo. Ignore the old saying of shaking a Polaroid and turn it upside down and let it develop over the next 30 minutes. Then I just repeated the same process over and over again to print the other 7 color photos of this pack. The next pack of film I tested is a black and white I-type film pack. This is another pack of expired film with a production date of October 2019. Typically, you want to use your film within 1 year of the production date, so in this case, October 2020. So this pack of film is about 10 months past expiration. When printing photos with the black and white film, you don't actually have to edit your photos to be black and white. The Polaroid Lab will make them black and white for you. However, if you edited them in black and white, this might help give you more control over how the photo will look, especially when it comes to the shadows and highlights. I decided to reprint this lighthouse photo in black and white so I could compare it to the color version. This next pack of film is also color, but it has different colored frames. Occasionally, Polaroid will come out with special edition frames like this one. Now, after printing 5 packs of expired film, let's see how they turned out. Here's how the first pack of colored film turned out. Depending on how familiar you are with Polaroid film photography, you may or may not be surprised by the colors here. It's a known fact that Polaroid film has a vintage look to it, and the colors will change depending on the conditions. But in my experience, a lot of times they have these warm magenta tones as shown here. I'm actually not too disappointed with these results based on their expiration date. The colors do look a little bit faded. They might be a little bit more vibrant if this was a fresher pack, but overall it's not too bad considering this film was made almost 2 years ago. For comparison's sake, this pack of color film had a more recent production date. This one is only about 7 months expired. You can see how much of a difference those 3 months made in the vibrancy of the colors. These photos are much more brighter in color. I absolutely love how this pack of colored film with black frames turned out. I tried to be more mindful of the photos I chose for these frames. For example, I knew this night shot would look great with a black frame. This pack also had a more relevant production date. You can see the difference in the richness of the colors. Here's how the black and white film pack turned out. This one was also 10 months expired. In general, I'm pleased with how these black and white photos turned out because in my experience, when black and white film is expired, it tends to be washed out. But instead, these ones did preserve good contrast between the shadows and the highlights. However, you do want to be careful with the shadows in the photos that you print as black and white because there could end up being a lot of black in your photo. So you may want to lighten up your photo in an editing app first. Here's a comparison of the same photo printed in black and white and color. I hope you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at how I print photos from my phone and turn them into vintage Polaroids. Check out one of these videos next on my art journal process.